Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna give you a take on tres leches today. I'm gonna go really fast, and I'll tell you the ingredients as I go. This version of it is a super simple version of it. So let's get started. We're gonna take 5 eggs. We're gonna separate them, and we're gonna add in our bowl our egg yolks. So 5 egg yolks. And we're going to take 3/4 approximately of a cup of regular granulated sugar. Yes, I'm using a plate. And we just simply gonna put this on high and let it mix until the eggs are light and fluffy. It should take approximately on high around 3 to 4 minutes. If you can tell already, it's almost double in size. I'm still gonna let it mix for an additional 2 more minutes. I want this to get a little fluffier, and I'm going to increase my speed to 10. I'm bringing my mixture down to a stir, and I have in here, I have approximately a 1/3 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk, and I'm using 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract, and I'm mixing it into the milk, and I'm gonna pour this directly into my mixture. And you're gonna look at it like, oh my god, you just messed up. No, you didn't. That's the way it's supposed to look. We're gonna stop the machine, and we're gonna make sure that all the sides are well incorporated. Right on the inside. And before we start mixing, I'm gonna let you know what I have on this little plate. On this plate here, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon and a half of baking powder, and an 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of fine salt. Now we're gonna start this on low and just increase it a little bit just to get the milk and vanilla incorporated. We're gonna bring it right back down, and we're gonna put in our dry ingredients, all of them. Put them all together and stir gently to incorporate. Once all the dry are incorporated, don't overmix because you will make a tough cake. What we'll do now is we'll stop our machine, and as we stop our machine, I'm going to use my spatula, and I'm going to incorporate it all in while I get the next step prepared. We have our oven preheating at 350 degrees while we finish this. So I'm going to add my 5 egg whites. It's better if your egg whites are at room temperature. And we're adding the 2 tablespoons from the 1 cup that we reserved inside, and we're going to start this up, and we're going to mix the egg whites until they become like a meringue, very fluffy. Just let it go. It's gonna take a little bit. If you can tell, our, let's say, meringue is already done. You see, this is how, let's move this aside. This is how it's supposed to look. So if you turn it around, it's not gonna go anywhere. Anyway, so we have our previous mixture, and what we're gonna do is that we're gonna fold the egg whites into the egg yolk mixture. And we gotta fold this. Don't just stir it in. You don't want to deflate the egg whites. this makes a big difference in the texture of your cake and how light your cake will be. So to fold, you go around it and bring it directly in, cut in the middle, and do the same thing until the egg whites are completely gone. It's just a matter of cutting in all the way until your egg whites disappear. If you see a few streaks, it's okay. So this is what it is gonna look like. It's looking really good. It's a beautiful, beautiful dough or batter. Beautiful batter. So this cake is gonna go into a 350-degree oven for, I'm gonna say, approximately half an hour to 40 minutes. I got one of these at the dollar store, which they work amazing. Let me try to see if I can adjust this. Okay, got these at the dollar, so I think this is the perfect size. And what we do is we're gonna put the whole cake mix inside. We still got some. We've got some more. We want to make sure we have it all in. And what we're gonna do is just spread this completely to the sides. Make sure it's completely spread. And we gotta put it in your oven, in the middle rack of the oven. Okay? So one of the things that we're gonna do lastly is, so we want to make sure that we have it all in. And we want to do that just to remove any of the air pockets. And now we're just putting this in the oven, and next time you see this, it will be completely out of the oven and looking absolutely amazing. While our cake is in the oven, we're going to prepare our 3 milks mixture. So I have 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of sweet and condensed milk, want to make sure you get everything you can out of that can, because I'm sorry, these cans can become pricey after a while. And we have a half of a cup of half and half. We're going to stir this, but before we finish, we want to add a touch. So I'm going to do like a capful, which means about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm using really good quality vanilla. So as you can tell, it's a little dark because it's really good quality. And we're going to set this aside. Now, if you would like to have your tres leches cake to have that taste of orange, you can add a little bit of orange zest to this, and it gives it a really amazing, amazing flavor. So we set this aside until our cake comes out of the oven and becomes cool, so we can put this mixture into it. So this is how the cake looks when it comes out of the oven. I'm going to pre-warn you, the cake is going to drop some. That's absolutely normal for this cake. So it will drop. You're going to look at it like, wow, what happened? That's okay. I'll show you the next step and how to soak the layers after this cake cools. The cake is cool, so I'm just making a few little punctures around it. And that's it. Now I take my liquid, my 3 milks, and I'm going to start by incorporating this liquid onto this whole cake. Yes, the whole liquid is going to go in. You may think it's a lot of liquid, but this whole cake will drink this whole liquid. You're gonna look at it like, wow, there's a lot of liquid in there. By the time I decorate this, I'm putting this in the refrigerator, the cake should have soaked in most of it. Then we're just gonna top it with whipped cream or any whipped cream topping, whether you make your own or you buy it already made, and top it with fruit. And I'll show you that later. Now that we're back, we're going to be finishing this cake. And I'm using store-bought whipped topping. And I'm going to just put 2 dollops in there and just start spreading it. We want to be able to cover the top of the cake. And we just keep giving it a turn, trying to get it all through the corners. Now, normally I would do this with whipped cream, homemade whipped cream, but honestly, time is not in my favor. So because time is not in my favor, we are simply doing it this way. So we're spreading it. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And we're gonna continue until all our cake layers are. Now I'm not too worried about the corners because I am going to add a border. Take a look. So that's it. I'm simply putting that much right there. So now we're just going to put a quick border. And it's just a matter of covering our borders. And just keep turning. This is what I call simple decorations. Just the borders. Okay, so this is our cake. We're gonna look at it this way because now it's the part that we decorate. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we grab a little tiny bit of cinnamon. We're gonna use a little sifter or just a little sifter or a very fine sifter, and we're going to add just a little bit over the top. We don't want to overdo it. Just do. So we're simply adding some berries. Depends on the berries. I was going to get raspberries, but I'm sorry, those raspberries were too expensive. And I could not do it. So we're adding some blueberries and strawberries and all that fun type of berries, right? And now we take a strawberry and we're going to cut that berry in half, just in half. Try to keep the stem, okay? And we have some strawberry glaze. And we're going to glaze our berries because that gives it that beautiful shine. And we are going to add, wow, look how pretty. We add our glaze, it gives it the shine, if you all can see it. And we continue to add our berries until we get it to where we like it. And I'll show you that in just about a second. In our very last strawberry. So this is our finished tres leches. This is as simply decorated as I can. I might just add a couple of nuts all the way around the border. So let's see. So instead of nuts, I'm just gonna add really small amount of gold, let's call them glitter, but in fact it's more like crystal sugar, just to give it another sense of color just around the corners. Yes. So there you have it, our tres leches cake done Maddie style. Simple. You can decorate it whichever way. This is just a simple way to decorate. By the way, for my glaze, I use, it comes in a jar like this. I'm not even going to show you the brand. I don't want to get into trouble, but it's just a glaze, store-bought glaze. You can make your own by doing strawberries jus and thickening it up with cornstarch. Anyway, so there you have it, our tres leches cake. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and join me next time when I try yet another recipe here at Maddie's Puerto Rican Kitchen and more. Bye. God bless you.